Hey everyone, and welcome back to the show. You know, Andrew, lately, every time I scroll through the news, there's this one headline that just keeps grabbing my attention. And honestly, it really gets to me.
Sean, I know exactly what you're talking about. The government shutdown. It's not just a headline anymore, is it? It's become this looming cloud over so many families, and the numbers are just staggering. I saw somewhere that roughly 1.4 million federal workers are caught in the crossfire, going unpaid.
Exactly. 1.4 million. That's not just a statistic. That's 1.4 million individuals, each with families, with bills, with responsibilities. It's not like these people just stop needing to eat or pay their rent because Washington can't agree on a budget, you know? It's a fundamental disruption to their lives.
It truly is. And what I think a lot of people outside of DC or outside of federal employment might not fully grasp is what a government shutdown actually means. It's not just that the government closes. For some, it means being furloughed without pay, meaning they're told to stay home, not work, and certainly not get paid. For others, considered essential, they're still required to report to work, doing critical jobs, but without any guarantee of a paycheck.
That essential but unpaid part is just brutal, isn't it? Imagine being a TSA agent ensuring our safety at airports, or a Border Patrol agent, or a corrections officer, or even someone working at the National Weather Service. Doing your job, a vital job, knowing your mortgage payment is due next week and you have zero income coming in. How do you focus? How do you maintain morale?
It's an impossible situation. And let's not forget the ripple effect. It's not just the federal employees themselves. Think about the small businesses that depend on federal contracts, or the local restaurants and shops near government buildings that see a huge drop in customers when thousands of employees aren't coming to work or simply don't have disposable income. It impacts entire communities.
Absolutely. I've heard stories of people dipping into their retirement savings, taking out high-interest loans, or even turning to food banks. It's not just about missing one paycheck. For many, it can destabilize their finances for months, even after the shutdown ends and they eventually get back pay. The mental and emotional toll, Andrew, must be immense.
Oh, absolutely. The anxiety, the stress of uncertainty. Imagine trying to explain to your kids why you can't afford their school trip, or why Christmas might be a bit more modest this year, all because of something completely out of your control. It's not just a financial crisis. It's a crisis of security and well-being for hundreds of thousands of families.
And this isn't even touching on the impact on public services. We're talking about things like delays in processing veteran benefits, closures of national parks and museums, interruptions to scientific research, even potential delays in food safety inspections. Services that directly affect every single American, not just those working for the government.
That's a really critical point, Sean. It highlights that the government, for all its complexities, provides so many essential functions that we often take for granted until they're suddenly gone or severely hampered. Think about the IRS, for instance. Tax season could become a nightmare if this drags on, with fewer staff to process returns and answer questions.
Right, and it really makes you wonder about the long-term consequences, beyond just the immediate financial hit. Does it erode trust in government? Does it make talented individuals less likely to pursue careers in public service if they know their livelihood can be held hostage by political disagreements?
That's a profound point. Why would you dedicate your career to public service, often for less pay than in the private sector, if you know your paycheck is subject to the whims of political negotiation? It's demoralizing, and honestly, it weakens the very institutions designed to serve the public.
We've seen shutdowns before, right? It's not a new phenomenon. But each time it happens, it feels like the stakes get higher, and the impact feels more severe. And the idea that these are used as bargaining chips in political debates, it just feels so disconnected from the reality of people's lives.
It absolutely does. And it's not just the pressure on the individual workers. There's immense pressure on politicians to resolve this too. Public opinion quickly sours when people see the real-world consequences. Eventually, that pressure builds to a point where a resolution is found. The question is always how much damage is done before that point.
And the fact that it keeps happening, it suggests a deeper systemic issue with how budgets are negotiated and approved. It's almost like a recurring nightmare for these federal employees. They go through it, recover, and then always have that fear in the back of their minds that it could happen again next year.
Exactly. And it's not a partisan issue in terms of its impact. Regardless of your political leanings, a shutdown affects real people, real families, and real services. There's no escaping the widespread negative consequences when the government, in essence, grinds to a halt.
I think what's particularly disheartening is the feeling of helplessness for those affected. They're just trying to do their jobs, trying to provide for their families, and suddenly their financial stability is yanked out from under them through no fault of their own. It's a really raw deal.
It truly is. I mean, imagine having your career, your financial security, literally held hostage by a disagreement in Congress that has nothing to do with your performance or dedication. It's not just unfair, it's a profound breach of trust between the government and its employees.
And it makes you think about how interdependent our economy and society are. One breakdown in one area, like the federal budget process, can send shockwaves through millions of lives, affecting everything from scientific research that could save lives to the simple act of getting your mail on time.
Absolutely. Take, for example, the impact on future planning. Many federal employees were likely planning holidays, making significant purchases, or managing critical life events. All of that gets put on hold, or worse, completely disrupted, because their income source has been unilaterally suspended.
It's a stark reminder that behind every policy debate and every budget number, there are actual human beings who are directly impacted. And for 1.4 million of them right now, that impact is significant financial stress and uncertainty.
Indeed. And as citizens, I think it's crucial for us to remember that this isn't just political theater. This is a very real, very painful situation for a huge segment of our workforce, and the pressure to end it, for the sake of these families and the stability of our nation, truly needs to rise.
Couldn't agree more, Andrew. It's about empathy, really. Imagining yourself in their shoes. Hopefully, for the sake of those 1.4 million workers, a swift and fair resolution is reached very, very soon. Thanks for joining me to talk about this today.
Thanks, Sean. It's an important conversation to have, and one we need to keep highlighting until these workers get the stability they deserve. Until next time, everyone.